We're going to look at essay writing in Jane the Fox and Me today, so particularly how to approach an essay question. Today's focus is really just on how to decode a question and how to unpack that question. The next little video will look at how to write an introduction, then I'll go through how to write a body paragraph, and finally, how to write a cracking conclusion. So today's focus will be on unpacking the question, and you're probably feeling a bit like Helene here in this image, so feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the process of starting your essay. I suggest that you take notes, so I'm going to give you a moment to get a pen and paper. An essay question is coming up and you might want to jot it down. I'm going to use two texts to demonstrate, so both Jane the Fox and Me, and also one that you're probably familiar with from your childhood. So your steps for the essay process. Number 1, we analyse the question, identifying the instructional words, keywords, and all of the parts of the question. We brainstorm our ideas, gathering evidence and examples and making a plan. You write your essay, ensuring it has a clear structure, so introduction, several body paragraphs, and a conclusion, and finally editing our work. So unpacking the question. We're going to start with this. I apologise, there's a typo there. I'll read the question for you as it should be. So how does the very hungry caterpillar explore key themes? So I want you to think about that question. What would the key words be? The key words. So to me, the words that jump out are how and key themes. So how always means the techniques and the construction. Key themes is directing us to consider the ideas. Now, it's been a long time since I've read this text, but I can still think of some examples and I can still think of the gist of the story. So how in this case means the key narrative and visual conventions, so the techniques used to explore. In this case, we have the central character of the caterpillar and his actions of searching for food and his physical journey. We have symbolism with particularly striking colour, emphasising the contrast between his plain green body and his colourful wings as a butterfly. We also have some juxtaposition there. And the structure. So the resolution sees the transformation and the motions of the caterpillar as a resplendent butterfly. So that's the how part of the question. Now, key themes. What is it about? What ideas does it probe? These are the big concepts that are developed throughout a story. So we've got growth and transformation as he changes from a plain caterpillar to a spectacular butterfly, and also identity. In some ways we could read it more symbolically about finding one's sense of purpose and belonging in the world. So that hunger could be, metaphorical as well. So I want you to have a look at two examples, and this is often what we confront as English teachers. I would say this is, specificity. Are you being specific enough? So what we don't want to do is restate the question. So sample 1, the very hungry caterpillar explores the idea of change through a range of conventions. So what it lacks is specificity about what that change looks like, and also it doesn't reveal what the conventions are. We'll look at number 2. The very hungry caterpillar explores the idea of change with the metamorphosis of the caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. It follows a caterpillar who is on the quest for food, and through his journey, colour and symbolism represent his gradual growth and transformation. Symbolically, his hunger represents his emptiness and desire for more, as he must emerge and find his true identity as a butterfly. Now, we're probably reading a lot into this story, but we can see that elaboration of ideas and that specificity is much stronger in the second example. So I want you to think about what makes the second one better, and what does it do that the first one doesn't. Now we're going to look at a question for Jane the Fox and Me. Now you get a range of different questions. This one actually tells you some themes and ideas, whereas some are more open, and that doesn't mean it's trying to trick you. It means it might let you talk about other ones. So we'll have a look at this question. So how does the graphic novel Jane the Fox and Me explore ideas of bullying, friendship, and social isolation? Again, we've got that word how, which always means we need to look at how it's constructed in the techniques. And this one also tells us the text. So we're going to have to introduce it in our thesis, the text, title, author, date. And also the ideas of bullying, friendship, and social isolation. So they're what we're going to have to focus on for our central arguments. So here I've unpacked some of those elements. So how, the aspects of construction and conventions, because this is a graphic novel, we've got a few layers. So we've got visual codes. They're things from framing, gaze, proximity to juxtaposition, lighting. Narrative conventions, so particularly relevant settings, symbolism, character. You look at plot. Graphic novel conventions, and there's a few there, silhouette and crosshatch. And then ideas and themes. So you need to comment on these themes and how they are shown to form your central thesis or your argument. So sometimes the question might just say the ideas or themes and issues, and you will have to come up with the relevant ones. We need to explore the nature of the representation. So what does it say about bullying? So she experiences the harmful effects of bullying. She feels disempowered. With friendship, does she have friends? So what does friendship look like in the graphic novel? So her struggles to find friendship and her struggles to forge meaningful relationships. And social isolation. So that's about characterizing the nature of how she feels ostracized and like she doesn't belong. And you'll see here that I've tried to unpack the ideas, so say what it looks like, and also link it to some techniques. In the first one, I've linked the psychological impacts of bullying and taunts with her interactions with characterization and how the antagonist is characterized. Talked about positioning and what that represents about her position in the social hierarchy. And gaze and proximity are also used to depict the harsh scrutiny of her peers. So we see that the bullies glare at Helene and they're clustered together, emphasizing their relative power and popularity. So what I'm doing here is just planning and unpacking what are the ideas, how are they shown. That's just starting to get my argument, so when I write my introduction, I'll have a bit more material and fodder. So always with an essay question, we're looking at the how, the construction, and also the ideas, and locating that within what the specific question's asking us to do. In the next video, we'll be looking at the structure of an essay, and in particular, the structure of an introduction. All right, thank you, girls.